Alright, we are back in the garage after the first test drive. Here we have the yellow electric cabriolet under the yellow light working under the hood. There's the controller. Just kind of precariously resting on some loose bolts in the back. We'll have to fix that. The same with the potentiometer. The accelerator box, pot box, needs to get fixed. We'll end up placing a bar across here to the other side and then resting a plate across those. It's a bunch of wiring that still needs to be done, some hookups up here. Maybe a set of batteries can fit under the hood, depending on what kind of space we end up with. Down on the bottom there's the motor, sitting away. It's the heaviest part of the whole project. Here in the back seat of the car we have the first in-car charging in process. We have the battery management system hooked up to the battery pack, and there's the battery management system. It's the beginning of the charge, so only the I'm awake light is on. None of the this channel is full lights are on yet. Monitoring voltage right there. We're looking at 81.3 volts so far on the pack. That'll go up to potentially 90, 91 before the BMS shuts it off. There's what I call a Zevan adapter board. The BMS has the potential to shut off a Zevan charger if it's throttling the current too quickly. So I had to build this board to absorb some of the current spikes in a capacitor between the charger and the battery pack. Speaking of the charger, oh yeah, we've got the power line going out of the gas plug, or what used to be the gas cap, up and into the ceiling. So coming out of the power line for the house. And here in the very low light of the trunk, you may or may not be able to see it, is the Zevan charger and its little red light showing that it's on in there. And that's the state of the conversion. There's a lot of work to do. Obviously the under hood mounts need to be made permanent, made out of metal. The battery pack needs to be placed somewhere in the car, more permanent than, say, across the back seat. The charging rig, which is a rat's nest of wires right now, needs to be eventually worked out in some fashion. Low voltage cutoff signal lines that are coiled there on the second blue column aren't hooked up to anything. We'll have to figure out how to route those. So there's still a lot of decisions to be made. To pass inspection, I still need to get the power assist brake functionality up and running. The brakes work right now, but you have to really stomp on them. Power steering is required, or some working steering. Right now I have power assist steering with no power assist, which I don't think will pass inspection. And the windshield wipers, believe it or not. The wipers work fine, but the little spray nozzle there on the far side of the hood, and the little hose that runs up, is disconnected, doesn't hook up to anything. Used to hook up right here, this little plastic tube that's no longer attached. So that will be the three major projects: steering, brakes, wiper fluid. We get it up to where it's legal on the street, and that will be the next few steps in the project. Thanks a bunch.